Right. So can we get your names going from left to right?
Louis Ronald Briley,
And you were born when?
9/22/37. My name is Nolan Joseph Briley. I was born on the 1st of March in the year 1934.
My name is Joseph Douglas Briley Jr., and I was born on October 27, 1931.
Growing up, Briley, in South Louisiana in the 30s or so.
Yeah.
First thing that comes to mind when you tell people that you've met in your life about what it was like growing up in this family, what are the things that come out first for you?
Well, when I first found out JD was my brother, I loved him, but he started being bossy, and then he comes along, so I got a boss on each side of him. So from there on, I just migrated into being a shy person, and I would rather leave the rest up to you. Would you say something? Growing up on the farm was very a very good way to start a life, and we worked hard, but we also had a lot of fun playing games, softball and stuff like that. And what I enjoyed the most, being raised on a farm, was riding horses. I enjoyed horseback riding, and we had saddles, but it wasn't uncommon for us to, for me at least, to ride with no saddle, and on occasion with no bridle, just patting the horse on the side of the neck to guide him as to where you wanted him to go. And of course we use the horses to work the cattle. We had to pin up the cattle and vaccinate them and brand them, and that was a very nice experience. There was work involved, but it was enjoyable.
Tell me about the house you grew up in. The house you grew up in.
Let's see, I was born in Port Barre, Louisiana, and shortly thereafter we moved to Opelousas, which is only a hop, skip, and a jump from Port Barre, of course. And we lived in what we thought at the time was a mansion, 16 rooms. And 16 room and 3 large green screen porches, yeah, and a cellar, and we really thought we were uptown. It was a great place to live, and we had to earn our keep. We worked hard, but we enjoyed it. We didn't know any better. We worked hard, but we had a lot of privileges. And we were able to do a lot of things that city people were not able to do. We enjoyed it. And we grew up there. We lived in this big house from the time I was in the 3rd grade until I graduated from high school. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, we had moved into the little house across the road.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about the greenhouse.
I'm talking about the greenhouse,
greenhouse.
First of all, yeah.
Right.
And then I can't remember when Mom and Dad moved in that other house when I was in the service. Yeah, I was in Japan. And I came home on leave and I didn't know which way to go. But they had told me they had moved. And of course I knew about it. I'm being facetious now. Mm-hmm. But I said, gee whiz, you moved from a 16-room house into this little house where T. Taunton on George used to live.
Oh, really?
You remember that?
I didn't know that they had lived there.
T. Taunton on George used to live there. Mm-hmm. And I used to go spend nights with Junior at that time. And then, lo and behold, they renovated the house, and that's where Mom and Dad moved because I don't know if Dr. Rosa and them wanted to tear down the old house or what, I don't remember. But they renovated the house. You put the floor in the kitchen, you remember that? The
tile.
Vinyl?
yeah,
Vinyl.
yeah.
Vinyl.
And vinyl in the kitchen. And hey, it was a great place to live. We had an upstairs, a couple of bedrooms up there, and hey, it was very nice.
So
We enjoyed it.
what were the sleeping arrangements when you were, how many to a room?
You mean in the greenhouse?
Or both?
Yeah.
Well, in
The
the words
greenhouse.
of Bob Hope, we didn't have heat at night. We'd go to bed with the fireplace going, and then it would get cold during the night. We had quilts. And Bob Hope used to say that he had the same situation. If it got cold, there were 11 kids in the family. If it got cold, Mom just threw on another kid. Bob Hope, yeah. But it got cold in there. It got cold in the greenhouse without the fire. Like I said, we had a big fireplace, fire going at night. We went to bed and it died down during the night. We also had the gas heating, what do you call it? Well,
Spacer.
open gas. And of course, we didn't want to leave that on all night for fear of being intoxicated. No, that's the wrong word.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'd go to bed at night, like I said, with big fire, and then it would get cold during the night. And of course, with 4 or 5 of us in the same bed, we didn't get it. No,
No, we
but
did.
we had big quilts,
Yeah.
huge quilts. And,
But it wasn't uncommon for us to sleep 3 and 4 in the bed.
No, maybe 3.
How about the summertime?
But I
What
can
did you-
remember sleeping 2 this way and 1 at the foot. You remember that? Yeah.
So did they have ceiling fans
Yep.
for the summertime
Yeah.
to cool you off? They had attic fan. They had an attic fan.
Yeah, I believe it did.
Wait, so there was no central air conditioning?
No. No central heat, no central air.
You know, when we moved there, it was all wired for electricity in the greenhouse. But it was not on. And then REA came by and turned us on one day. Well, I guess it was playing. I don't know. You remember that? REA, Electrication Communication, or whatever. But anyway, they came and they were going through hooking up everybody. And they give us electricity, and man, we thought we were in tall cotton.
So what was it like let's say in the morning, from the time you got up to doing chores, to breakfast, to heading out to school? What was that like with all those kids in the house? And how organized or disorganized was it?
You want?
Well, we definitely had chores to do in the morning before we went to school.
What time was that?
Slightly before daylight.
6 o'clock, 6 a.m., something like that. But it involved milking the cows and feeding the chickens and feeding the pigs, and then we'd get ready and get ready for school, and we had to walk a mile down a dirt road to catch the school bus, which wasn't that bad. And we didn't have to worry about getting our shoes dirty on the dirt road because we didn't wear shoes. We went to school barefooted most of the time. I mean, well, as long as the climate would allow it. But we'd go to school and catch the school bus that bring us back to the end of the little road where he picked us up at, and we'd walk home and start the chores process again of shucking corn, shelling corn, feeding the potatoes, feeding the pigs, and I also raised rabbits for the family.
we used rabbits as a source of meat for the family. And I can remember killing and dressing as many as 30 rabbits at a time, which Dad really appreciated, because he liked the rabbit meat. It's a breakaway from the chicken and other types of meat that we have. But that's
Well, speaking of meat too, every year, you know, Dad raised hogs. Every year we'd have a boucherie, and we'd kill as many as 12 pigs. And Daddy used to shoot the pig right here, and Como would bleed the pig, not Dad. And we'd kill, like I said, about 12 pigs. And one of my jobs, after they removed the fat and the hide from the pig, my job was to cut in strips to make hog crackers. And then we would make sausage. We'd smoke the sausage, smoke the meat, make tisale. Remember tisale? That's hog feet and salt, with the salt.
yeah.
And then one of my jobs too, we had a little smokehouse. And my job was to keep that smoke going. If I let it out, it was gone. I was in heap of trouble. But we would hang that meat on wire across the smokehouse. And right in the middle was a little vessel, a little thing. And we had to keep it and make sure that it smoked and not flame. It had to be smoked, not flame. And we had bacon, we had pieces of meat strung across, we had raw sausage hung over the deals, and we just had to keep that smoke going.
These chores you had, did everyone have a specific chore, or were they rotated around the
We
kids?
sort of rotated, like cow milking and horse feeding and pig slopping. We sort of rotated on that, yeah. Of course, I did most of it myself.
I knew that was coming.
Do you remember how old you were when you started doing chores?
Oh Lord, I was very young, yeah. I just grew into it. JD tried to teach me what he was doing, but I just had to learn myself. But no, he taught me. Hubert taught him. Cole taught Hubert. I don't know if Will ever did anything. No, I'm just kidding, Will. But we learned as we grew up. As we grew up, we learned it. And Daddy made sure that we learned it. Your grandpa.
Yes.
But Dad was strict, but he always had feeling for us. As we grew up, he made sure that we grew up right, correctly, with a lot of manners, with a lot of respect. Oh shit, I'm gonna cry. And he paid attention to us, called us boy. When he said, "Come here, boy," all 7 of us ran. But we enjoyed our life. We had a rough time, but we enjoyed it.
What about your sisters? What were their chores growing
My
up?
sisters,
Yeah.
well, they helped Mom in the house. They did a lot. They learned to. They did a lot of work in the house.
I was very much younger than they
Yeah.
were, so I don't really remember too much about it.
Well, as I recall, Velma and Sis took care of Louis and Ray when they were, babies. That's what I understand, because it was their job to, take care of the youngins. And but I can remember that was the situation. Mom depended a lot on Wilda and Velma. Rightfully so, because she had a lot to do. Very much to
And did Grandpa always do the grocery shopping?
do. Daddy always
Always.
went to the grocery shop. Occasionally, and I remember this, occasionally, that was at B.L. Sanders. Remember B.L. Sanders? That's where we did his shopping. And they would make up a list, and I guess I was about 16 or 17, and they'd give me the list, and I'd go to B.L. Sanders, and they would go around the store with me picking up the stuff that was on the list.
And it had to be on the list.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't dare pick up something that wasn't on the list, man.
And how did you get there?
Well, you see, I was driving at the time.
Oh.
I learned how to drive on a 1941 Ford pickup truck at age 15.
Okay.
And Louis and I were picking up hay that Daddy would pay us a nickel a bale to pick up the hay and go stack it. And he let us use the 41 Ford pickup truck. And we burned the clutch on it. That was a rough one. Huh? You remember that?
He let us survive it though.
Huh?
He got it. He got the truck repaired and.
Oh yeah.
And
Is that what you learned how to drive on?
yeah.
Yeah. 1941 Ford pickup truck. He had to have a truck to do some of the work on the farm. And I guess he was just too nice to ask Miss Rosa to buy him a truck, so he bought it himself. He owned the truck, and we used it a lot for